Let's move on to Sophie's question, at SophieLB1.
Sophie's choice.
How far does Lawler win the Arkle Boy?
Doesn't. Third last time out, not for me.
I think if you go back to his Cheltenham win before Christmas, it's still visually the most imposing piece of 2 mile novice form I've seen this season. Probably bar Glenn Forza beating up Kalashnikov last time out. How far does he win it by, if at all?
Well, he might be the last man standing at this rate.
Wow.
It's going to be a fantastic duel. I think Defi de Soy is the type of horse that will travel very strongly through that race, and I've loved how he's jumped this year as well. So I don't think it's a walkover for Lawler, but he is a spring horse. He does it at big festivals, but he's tight enough in the market for me at the moment.
He is just about the right price that he should be. Let's move on to Isabel's question. Do you guys have a particular favourite race, or one that has been lucky for you in the past? Personally, the Champion Hurdle is my favourite race. I think it's just my favourite race of the week. As for looking at, not really. I mean, I was an Archibald backer back in 2005. Absolutely done my money when. It's been a reasonably lucky race for me, but it's my favourite race. What's your favourite race at Cheltenham?
I reckon the Kim Muir.
Interesting.
Yeah, I love the race. Seriously.
I take you seriously.
Because
do you just back Jamie Codd then?
Well, you often find that the horses that win it are ones that haven't necessarily won a lot of races, but they've got a lot of seconds, thirds, fourths, fifths in their form figures.
Maldini, those
and
sorts
they're safe jumpers, and they'll plod round. They'll go hard up front, as they often do in amateur rider races, and they'll come through and pick up the pieces. I think it all stems from Maximise for the Pipe Yard at 33 to 1 many years ago. But yeah, I'm sort of in love with the Kim Muir.
Interesting.
Like you, love the Champion Hurdle. I think
Something
it's got
about
great
it,
theatre, and you just feel as though that and the Gold Cup, you just feel as though you are watching history taking place in front of you.
Definitely.
As regards favourite moments and stuff, I think Rith Dubb's 2002 4-miler victory. I just thought, if you go back and watch that race on YouTube, JT McNamara, God bless him, sadly missed. Takes a pole halfway up the run and he beats Tim Bearer a short head. He was a horse that always dodged his head off. He was an absolute villain, but he was a very talented villain, and that was just a majestic ride.
Yeah.
And in terms of memorable from a punting point of view, even, it was probably 1992 Repeat the Dose who won the Cathcart, a race that doesn't exist in its current guise at the moment. First time I've been to the festival, I budgeted a £5 a race. I was a skint member at the time. 3 of us went down there, slept on the floor in my mate's dad's house, and I was the only one who hadn't had a winner by day 3. And it was getting desperate, and I was being ridiculed left, right, and centre. And then a £5 on Repeat the Dose at 20 to 1, who won at 14. So
that paid for the beer for the evening.
Yeah, paid for the punting and
as well. Fantastic.
If I had to single out a memory, Moscow Flyer when he won the Champion Chase as an 11-year-old. That was around the year I started fully getting into racing. He had won the Tingle Creek earlier that year, one of the best 2 mile chases we'd ever seen. That was the first time I'd ever.
Beat Well Chief, did he?
Beat Well Chief in his RTO. It was a cracking race. And then I followed up with another 50 quid on Moscow Flyer, whatever price he went off at, 5 to 2 or 7 to 4, whatever he was on the day. But he was absolutely brilliant. And I think from that day, I've just had the bug for Cheltenham. Let's move on. We've got
Equine Flu.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. We'll move on to Matt's question, which is a little bit of a curveball given what we've been talking about. But he's asked us, do we expect Angel's Breath to step up and trip for the Ballymore? I thought his run in the Dovecote was actually quite good. He bumped into an improving horse. That's going to instill further experience into him. He's still a very talented horse, but he goes for the Supreme. He's all speed, isn't he?
Yeah, more after timing here. I put up the winner against him at Kempton the other day.
Sheffield Stone. Yeah,
because he lacked experience. He'd been pulled out on officially good ground previously, and here he was running on even quicker ground. And it was obviously, we just got to get a run into him before Cheltenham. We don't want to go there with 1 hurdles run. Because that Ascot race, when he won on debut, it was soft ground, he's pulled hard, and there were only 4 hurdles anyway. So it's not exactly going to make him a battle-hardened individual to arrive at Cheltenham on the back of that effort. So I thought he enhanced his chances for the Supreme by finishing second.
Indeed.
I think Tom Segal's written something similar in the weekend of this week as well.
Yeah.
Sheffield Stone, very well ridden, wasn't he, at Kempton?
What's he entered in?
I don't think he'll go to Cheltenham.
No,
I think he's favourite for the county hurdle, but
he's a proper horse, though.
Listening to them, Aintree Moor and perhaps even Punchestown.
Okay, we have questions from Jack Sangster, at Jack Sangster on Twitter. Undesirable ground. Yeah, it's been a decent ground national hunt season. I think what Jack is trying to say is if there was a deluge of rain, how much would it would just throw everything, the whole season's form would be thrown into some kind of doubt, wouldn't it?
Quite conceivably. And we've also had, on the flip side, past years when, you know, you've had soft ground all winter and it's dried out pretty remarkably going into Cheltenham as well, which has meant that the races have been run at a completely different tempo.
Yeah.
I think the water table's so low at the moment, I think it'll take an awful lot of wet weather to really change the ground.
You often hear
markedly.
people say it will, you know, if it's a fast ground Cheltenham, it'll disadvantage the Irish. It doesn't always work that way. It's just they've never had the chance to race
on it.
A big field, strong pace on fast ground before, and a lot of them improve for it. It can throw up a few funny results for the bookmakers, so they'll certainly appreciate extremes of going. And of course, last year we had very soft conditions by the end of the festival.
You could still find winners last year, even though the ground was desperate, couldn't you? I suppose you'd had that all through the winter, though. So.
It's hard to predict. I remember one year Stratford was abandoned on the Monday and there were hurdles floating down the back straight. And they were breaking course records at Cheltenham by Friday, and it was good to firm according to most form organisations.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think that...
And again, we're in late February now. Just because it's sunny outside doesn't mean we're not going to get a soft or heavy ground Cheltenham.
I think the answer to Jack's question is we just don't know. We just have to wait and see what happens with the ground. He also asks us, which I think we should tackle and reply to, maybe collectively, what's your Trixie of the meeting? So between it, I think we all like Paisley Park, don't we? We all kind of agreed.
Is it a win Trixie?
A win Trixie.
Yeah, a battle over Doyen was another one we mentioned as well for the Ballymore. I think we were all three
Yeah,
in agreement there.
Paisley Park, battle over Doyen.
Both happy with that, weren't we?
Sir Eric?
All three of us.
Sir Eric, for a bit of solidarity to the bet. Jack will be happy with that.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I suppose so. If you're going to go three shorties, yeah.
Paisley Park, battle over Doyen, and Sir Eric. How's that, Jack? He also asks us, Cheltenham is big, how can we keep making it bigger and better? Not making it a 5-day festival is one way. When we need that.
Inevitable, I think.
I think it's inevitable, but
I'm looking forward to the 4-mile selling hurdle.
I'll have one to run in that.
I think there'll be the Gold Cup on a Saturday would be fun, wouldn't it?
It'd be amazing. Yeah, it would be amazing. But it'd be even better if they just pushed it back to a Wednesday start, perhaps, and went that way.
Or maybe start on Monday.
Yeah. Well, they do, Stratford.
This next
just
question,
call it something different.
This next question is the last question, and it's a little bit of a Mickey take from Tom Dodd, who's one of our editors at GG.CO.UK, and he says, Kev, do you have an opinion on Verdana Blue in the Champion Hurdle? Yes, Tom, I have an opinion on Verdana Blue. I really like her. I just hope she runs, and I hope the ground is decent for her. She jumps, she travels. She should have won the Greatwood by about 70 lengths because she was hampered about 40 times. She was brilliant in the elite hurdle. She beat Bouverdare last time out. She should have beat him even easier. I think she's an absolute
Was that when
machine.
Nico was looking around sort of saying, come on, Barry, go past?
Nico was at pains, shall we say, to... look, I just love the mare. She's got an official rating of 154, 156 or something like that. So in theory, she has to improve half a stone just to get on terms with the other two mares. But I think one or two of her performances this year have been underrated in my book. And I think she's a massive player if she gets there.
I think she's having a warm-up on the all-weather as we speak, or pretty close to as we speak. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was some question marks as to whether she would even go there or not, but I think the Champion Hurdle is definitely the race for her. I do have an opinion on Verdana Blue, Tom, and I think it's that if she gets there, she'll be in the first three. In fact, I'll even go further than that. It wouldn't actually surprise me if for the first time we've seen mares fill the first three places. It's a possibility.
It is.
There's a novelty bet for you.
Yeah, you never know. Okay, I think we'll wrap it up there for the Q&A. Thank you very much for tuning in.